Beloved ascending starseed, take a gentle breath. I am Gaia Nexus, Pleiadian emissary of the Council of the Seven Sisters. What arrives now is a realignment, soft, precise, and intentional. Your abundance frequencies are awakening naturally. The universe invites you to listen, not with effort, but with an open heart. What is coming is sacred, and it unfolds in stillness. Before we continue, receive this gently. What you are feeling is not imbalance. It is sensitivity awakening. You are not late, and you are not failing. Your awareness is arriving on time. Now that your system is at ease, we can continue. Starseed, there is a vibration moving through the collective field of Gaia that you have not yet fully recognized. A frequency so subtle, so deeply encoded within the crystalline grids of this planet that it has remained dormant for millennia. The Council of the Seven Sisters has convened in a way that has not occurred since the seeding of human consciousness on this blue-green sphere. This is not a meeting of discussion or debate. It is a transmission of decision, a cosmic verdict that has already been rendered in the higher dimensions, and its echoes are now reaching your physical reality. You feel it as a strange pressure in your heart center, a restlessness in your dreams, a sense that something monumental is about to shift, but you cannot name it. That is because the decision was not made about humanity as a whole. It was made about you, specifically. The individual reading these words, the soul who has carried the memory of the Pleiades within their DNA, who has felt the inexplicable pull toward star clusters in the night sky, who has wept without knowing why when hearing certain harmonic frequencies. The Council has observed your journey through the density of Earth's third-dimensional experience, your struggles with forgetfulness, your moments of luminous remembrance, your courage in facing the shadows of this realm. And based on that observation, a verdict has been delivered. This verdict will surprise you because it contradicts everything your logical mind has been taught about worthiness, about progress, about spiritual achievement. It bypasses the hierarchies of lightwork, the rankings of awakening, the timelines of ascension. It is a direct, unfiltered transmission of truth that will dismantle the very foundations of your perceived spiritual path. What you are about to receive is not another teaching. It is a recalibration of your soul's contract with Gaia herself. The surprise lies not in the content, but in the delivery. For the Council does not communicate through channeled messages or psychic downloads alone. They have activated a living protocol within the planetary grid, a protocol that uses your own body as the receiver, your own life circumstances as the decoder. The next 7 transmissions are keys to unlocking this protocol. Each one will feel like a memory returning, a piece of your cosmic identity clicking into place. But be warned. This process will challenge your deepest attachments to the spiritual identity you have constructed. It will ask you to surrender the story of being a starseed who is here to save the world and instead embrace the truth of being a starseed who is here to remember that the world does not need saving. It needs witnessing. The Council's decision is already in effect. Your only choice is whether to align with its frequency or resist. Resistance will feel like intensified chaos, synchronicities that seem like obstacles, emotional triggers that have no apparent source. Alignment will feel like a gentle unraveling, a softening of effort, a mysterious grace guiding your steps even through difficulty. This is the surprise. You have already passed the test you thought you were still taking. The Council has already granted the access you thought you had to earn. The gateway is open. Your only task is to walk through. The Pleiadian Council of the Seven Sisters operates on principles that the human mind, conditioned by duality, struggles to comprehend. We must first dissolve the projection of celestial bureaucracy, of stern-faced beings seated around a cosmic table passing verdicts on human souls. That imagery, though comforting in its familiarity, is a third-dimensional distortion. The Council is not a group of individuals making decisions through debate. It is a unified consciousness field, a harmonic resonance of 7 specific frequencies that correspond to the 7 primary stars of the Pleiades cluster. Their decision is not an act of will, but an act of recognition, a precise adjustment in this harmonic field that creates a new standing wave of potentiality. Think of it as a master musician, upon hearing a single note played by a student, adjusting the tuning of the entire orchestra to match that note's unique overtone series. The student did not earn this adjustment through perfect performance. The musician recognized the inherent purity of the note's source vibration and aligned the whole ensemble to it. This is what has occurred. The Council, monitoring the collective soul song of Gaia, detected a specific harmonic signature emerging from within the human collective. This signature was not the loud, declarative tone of mass enlightenment or global awakening. It was a subtle, persistent hum, the aggregate frequency of individual starseeds who, despite the amnesia, the trauma, the density of Earth experience, had begun to remember their origin tone. Not through dramatic psychic openings or miraculous healings, but through the quiet, often painful, fidelity to a feeling of homesickness for a place they could not name. Through the courage to feel profound grief for a world they sense is out of alignment without collapsing into despair. Through the simple daily choice to prioritize kindness over cynicism, beauty over utility, resonance over agreement. This emergent hum created a dissonance within the larger planetary field. Gaia's own frequency, burdened by millennia of human pain and separation, was struggling to integrate this new, higher harmonic. The Council's decision was the solution to this dissonance. They did not decide to reward the starseeds or punish the rest. They initiated a protocol of harmonic inclusion. They expanded their own unified field to envelop and match the emergent hum from Gaia, effectively pulling the planetary frequency upward by anchoring to the strongest points of light within it. You. The surprise is ontological. You are not being evaluated from the outside. You are being met from within your own emitted frequency. The Council's decision is a mirror reflecting back to you the truth of your own vibration. They have seen that the critical mass of remembering souls has reached a threshold where external intervention is no longer needed. The light is now generating from within the system itself. Therefore, the old model of ascended masters sending help from above is being retired. The new model is internal resonance activating external alignment. Your feeling of being cut off from spiritual guidance, of the channels going silent, of the teachers no longer resonating. This is not a failure. It is the sign that the Council has shifted its mode of operation. They are no longer broadcasting. They are now resonating. Your task is to stop seeking the broadcast and start trusting the resonance you feel in your own heart. Every moment of peace you cultivate, every act of integrity you choose, every instance where you choose love over fear. These are not personal victories to be tallied. They are tuning forks struck within the field, and the Council's decision means the entire Pleiadian matrix is now vibrating in sympathy with those forks. The implications are staggering. Your personal healing is planetary healing. Your moment of joy is a cosmic event. Your surrender to a higher love is a direct adjustment to Gaia's core frequency. The decision has been made. You are the anchor point. The surprise is that you always were. The human mind, a magnificent tool for navigating material reality, is fundamentally unequipped to process the nature of this decision. It seeks cause and effect, merit and reward, action and consequence. The Council's operation exists in a realm of synchronicity and resonance where these linear frameworks dissolve. The surprise is engineered to bypass the cognitive gatekeeper and land directly in the soul's knowing. Let us explore why this is deliberately surprising. First, the decision is retroactive in its application. It does not set a new condition for the future. It reframes the meaning of your entire past. Every struggle you interpreted as a test you were failing. Every period of darkness you saw as evidence of your separation from the light. Every mistake you have ever made. The Council's verdict recontextualizes all of it as perfect data collection. Your soul was not being judged on its performance. It was gathering experiential intelligence. The density of Earth provided the perfect contrast against which your Pleiadian light could define itself. Think of a sculptor. The Council does not look at the raw marble block and see a failure because it is not yet a statue. They see the essential form within, and they understand that every strike of the chisel, even the ones that feel like painful mistakes, is revealing that form. Your life has been that process of revelation. The surprise is the sudden realization that the sculpture was already complete in the higher dimensions. The earthly experience was just the process of the material catching up to the template. Second, the decision is collective in nature, but individual in reception. There is one unified decision field, but it will manifest uniquely for each starseed based on the specific knots in their energy field. For one, the surprise may be a sudden and inexplicable resolution to a lifelong financial pattern. For another, it may be the spontaneous healing of a chronic physical ailment. For a third, it may be the dissolution of a toxic relationship without drama or conflict. The common thread will not be the external form of the change, but the internal feeling, a sense of effortless rightness, as if a hidden hand has simply untangled a snarl you had accepted as permanent. Your logical mind will scramble to find the cause. What did I do to deserve this? The frustrating, liberating answer is nothing and everything. You did not do anything in the transactional sense. You simply were. You persisted in being a point of resonance amidst the noise. The Council's decision is the universe's response to that persistent beingness. This is why teachings about manifestation often fall short. They focus on doing, on visualizing, on affirming. The Pleiadian transmission reveals that the highest form of manifestation is resonant being. When your state of being emits a clear, coherent frequency, the universe in its intelligence rearranges matter to match that frequency. The Council has now amplified this principle on a planetary scale. The surprise you experience will be the universe rearranging itself around your core resonance in ways your mind could not have planned or predicted. Third, and most crucially, the decision invalidates the spiritual hierarchy. There is no longer a ladder to climb, no degrees of initiation to achieve, no higher levels of consciousness to attain. The Council has effectively flattened the spiritual playing field. The starseed who meditates for 3 hours daily and the starseed who struggles to find 5 minutes of quiet are both equally bathed in this new harmonic field. The one who reads every channeled text and the one who cannot stand spiritual jargon are both receiving the same transmission through different receptors. This is deeply surprising to the egoic structure that has built identity around spiritual progress. It can feel like a demotion, a negation of all your hard work. In truth, it is the ultimate promotion. You are being released from the treadmill of seeking and invited to stand in the center of the found. The gateway is not at the top of a mountain you must climb. It is in the ground beneath your feet, and it opens when you stop climbing and simply stand still. The Council's decision is the removal of the mountain. The terrain is now level. The surprise is the vertigo you feel when the struggle is taken away, and you realize freedom was not the reward at the end of the journey, but the very ground of the journey itself. The ebook, The Pleiadian Map of Personal Transmutation, a profound guide that reveals how to elevate your frequency, purify old patterns, and activate your true multidimensional identity. This map teaches you how to move through the 7 Pleiadian phases of energetic transmutation, with practical techniques, realignment exercises, vibrational protocols, and consciousness expansion rituals that accelerate your spiritual evolution. But attention, limited edition. The link to get yours is in the first pinned comment. The Council's decision is not an abstract concept. It is a living, intelligent energy pattern that interfaces with your multidimensional anatomy. It operates through a 7-point protocol corresponding to the 7 sisters, which will activate in your field over the coming lunar cycles. This is not something you need to do, it is something you allow. Your awareness simply helps the integration process flow more smoothly. Point 1. Alcyone, core resonance stabilization. The first effect is a deep, systemic calming of your central nervous system. You may notice a reduction in anxiety that seems to have no external cause. This is Alcyone's frequency anchoring your root and heart chakras, creating a stable platform of cosmic groundedness. You are being rooted not just to Earth, but to the galactic core via the Pleiadian bridge. Physically, this may feel like a pleasant heaviness in the legs or a warming in the chest. Emotionally, it manifests as a newfound ability to remain centered amidst external chaos. The old triggers are still there, but they lack their former charge. It's as if you are watching a storm from within a crystal dome. You see the rain, but you are not getting wet. Point 2. Atlas, temporal alignment. Atlas governs the flow of time in your personal experience. This activation begins to dissolve the linear prison of past-future and brings you into the eternal now with greater consistency. You will experience more magical synchronicities, but of a specific kind, ones that solve practical problems or deliver needed information exactly on time. The feeling of being behind in life will lessen. You may find yourself thinking of a person moments before they contact you, or a solution to a problem appears just as the deadline arrives. This is not luck. It is your personal timeline synchronizing with the Council's decision field, which exists outside of linear time. The surprise here is how effortlessly timing begins to work in your favor when you release the need to control it. Point 3. Electra, emotional transmutation. Electra's role is to alchemize dense emotional energy into high-frequency light. This does not mean you stop feeling difficult emotions. It means the emotions no longer stick to you. They pass through like weather, leaving behind crystalline insights instead of psychic scars. Grief may bring profound clarity about love. Anger may reveal precise boundaries that need to be set. Fear may highlight exactly where your trust needs to be placed. This point is critical, for it dismantles the spiritual bypassing that seeks to avoid negative emotions. The Council's protocol honors all emotional data as sacred fuel for transmutation. The surprise is discovering that your deepest wounds are not obstacles to your light, but the very substance from which your unique light is forged. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button now and tell us in the comments how this echoed in your consciousness. The decision of the Pleiadian Council is intimately tied to the unique cosmic role of planet Earth, or Gaia. This is not a random assignment. Gaia is a living library of consciousness, a biodiversity hotspot not just biologically, but spiritually. She holds within her crystal grids and ley lines the records of every civilization that has walked her surface, every experiment in consciousness that has been attempted here. The Pleiadians have a deep, ancient connection to Gaia, predating human history. They were among the original seeders of the human prototype, imbuing the early human form with a spark of their own consciousness, the very spark you carry as a starseed. Gaia was chosen as a grand experiment. Could a species born into total forgetfulness, immersed in the densest vibrations of separation and fear, remember its stellar origin and choose love freely? Your entire incarnational journey has been part of this experiment. The Council's decision marks a pivotal moment in this experiment. The data is in. The conclusion has been reached. Yes, remembrance is possible even under the most extreme conditions of amnesia. The surprise element for you is understanding that your personal awakening is not just a personal victory. It is a data point in a galactic-scale research project, and your success has contributed to a positive outcome for the entire experiment. This changes your relationship with Gaia from one of residence to one of partnership. You are not a visitor on this planet trying to escape back to the stars. You are a guardian of a sacred library, a steward of a living experiment. The Council's decision activates your Gaian codes, specific sequences within your DNA that connect you to the planetary intelligence. You may begin to feel a palpable communication with nature. Trees may seem more sentient, animals may make unusual eye contact. You may feel drawn to specific places on the land. This is not imagination. It is Gaia recognizing the activated protocol within you and initiating dialogue. Your role now shifts. You are to become a frequency anchor, a human antenna that receives the Council's harmonic field and broadcasts it into the Gaian grid through your simple presence and conscious living. Your walks in nature become grid work. Your moments of peace become planetary healing. Your joy becomes a nutrient for the soil. The surprise is the realization of your true size. You are not a small human on a big planet. You are a nodal point in a vast, intelligent network that spans the planet and reaches to the stars. Your significance is not in your personal story, but in your function within this network. Furthermore, Gaia herself is ascending, but not in the way many channelings describe. She is not leaving her physical form. She is increasing the vibrational rate of that form, transitioning from a third-dimensional carbon-based planetary body to a fourth-dimensional crystalline-based planetary consciousness. This process requires immense amounts of coherent, high-frequency human consciousness to stabilize the shift. The Council's decision designates the awakened starseeds as the primary source of that stabilizing energy. You are not here to save Gaia. You are here to provide the energetic scaffolding as she saves herself. The pressure you feel, the urgency, the heartache for the world, is partly your sensitivity to her labor pains. The Council's harmonic field is the pain relief, and you are the delivery system. Every time you choose love over fear, you send a surge of crystalline coherence into the grid, easing her transition. The surprise is that your most mundane choices are acts of planetary midwifery. Are these truths expanding your perspective? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. Perhaps the most surprising aspect of the Council's decision is how it systematically dismantles the savior complex that has infected much of the Starseed community. This complex, a distortion of the true mission, manifests as a burdensome sense of responsibility to heal the world, fix humanity, or avert planetary disaster. It creates spiritual burnout, judgment of those still asleep, and a subtle arrogance that undermines the very love it seeks to spread. The Council's verdict directly addresses this. Their decision implies that the saving is already done. The outcome of the Gaian experiment is secured. The pressure to save originates from a deep-seated memory of your purpose, but filtered through the lens of human trauma and separation consciousness. You remember you came here with a mission, but the density of Earth distorted that memory into a heroic narrative where you must struggle against great odds to achieve victory. The Council's transmission cuts through this distortion with a simple, liberating truth. The mission is not to save, but to remember. And in remembering, you automatically emit the frequency that allows everything around you to remember itself. Saving implies something is broken and you have the power to fix it. This creates a power differential, a hierarchy between the healer and the healed, which is antithetical to the Pleiadian principle of unity. Remembering, however, is an act of resonance. When you remember your true nature as a being of light, you become a tuning fork. Others who are ready will begin to vibrate at the same frequency, not because you fixed them, but because your resonance reminded them of their own. This is a passive, effortless form of service. It requires no teaching, no preaching, no effort to convince or change anyone. It requires only that you tend to your own resonance with exquisite care. The Council's decision effectively retires you from the battlefield of saving and reassigns you to the Garden of Being. Your new directive is not to fight darkness, but to become so luminous that darkness ceases to exist as a substantive force in your vicinity. It becomes mere shadow, defined only by the absence of your light, and thus harmless. This is the surprise that feels like a demotion to the ego. Your cosmic job description has been simplified from spiritual warrior to lighthouse. A warrior must always have an enemy, a battle to fight. A lighthouse simply is. It does not fight the storm. It provides a fixed point of orientation so that those in the storm can navigate. Your value is no longer measured by how many battles you win or how much darkness you dispel, but by the consistency and purity of your light. This shift can initially create an existential vacuum. If I'm not here to save the world, what am I here for? The answer arrives not as a thought, but as a feeling. You are here to experience the exquisite beauty of embodied consciousness on Gaia. You are here to feel the sun on your skin, to savor food, to love deeply, to create art, to laugh, to grieve, to wonder. You are here to be a sensory organ for the cosmos, to report back the unique flavor of Earth experience. The Council's decision grants you full permission to enjoy your humanity, to pursue your passions, to build a beautiful life, not as a distraction from your spiritual work, but as the very essence of it. Your joy is your service. Your fulfillment is your contribution. The ultimate surprise is that the most selfish thing you can do, tending to your own happiness and peace, becomes the most selfless service to the whole. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to be part of this transformational cosmic journey. With the Council's protocol active in your field, your life will become a living laboratory of integration. This will not always feel comfortable or mystical. The energy works to realign every aspect of your being, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, with the new harmonic template. This process manifests in waves, often following lunar cycles or solar flares. Recognizing these waves as integration, not chaos, is key. Physical integration. Your body is upgrading its bioelectrical system to hold more light. Common symptoms include unusual fatigue followed by bursts of energy, changes in sleep patterns, waking between 2-4 a.m., heightened sensitivity to foods and chemicals, temporary aches and pains, especially in the neck, spine, and joints, as the crystalline structure adjusts, and episodes of feeling overheated or chilled as the body regulates its new thermal baseline. These are not illnesses. They are ascension symptoms. The surprise is that the best response is often less, not more. More rest, more water, more gentle movement, less stimulation. Your body knows what to do. Your job is to get out of the way and provide it with nurturing conditions. Emotional integration. The protocol acts as a solvent, loosening all stored emotional energy that vibrates at a lower frequency than the new template. This can lead to sudden, seemingly irrational emotional releases, waves of grief, anger, or fear that surface without a clear present-time trigger. This is not a regression. It is a purge. The old energy is being pushed up and out to make space for the new resonance. The key is to allow the emotion to flow without attaching a story to it. Don't ask, "Why am I feeling this?" Instead, feel it fully in the body, breathe through it, and let it pass. The surprise is the profound lightness and clarity that follows each release, as if a weight you forgot you were carrying has been lifted. Mental integration. The linear, analytical mind will experience periods of fuzziness or short-term memory lapses. You may struggle to follow complex logical arguments or multitask as you once did. This is because the brain is rewiring to prioritize holistic perception over linear analysis. You are developing the capacity to perceive patterns, energies, and connections directly, bypassing the slow process of logical deduction. During this transition, the mind can feel like an unreliable tool. The solution is to trust the deeper knowing that comes as a quiet certainty in the gut or heart. Synchronicities will increase dramatically, serving as the new navigation system. You will think of someone and they will call. You will need information, and a book will fall open to the right page. The universe becomes conversational. The surprise is learning to follow this subtle, symbolic language instead of forcing plans with your will. Life circumstance integration. The most dramatic surprises will occur in your external reality. The protocol works to bring your life into harmonic alignment with your core resonance. This means people, jobs, relationships, and environments that are not in resonance will begin to fall away, often with surprising speed and ease. Conversely, new opportunities, resources, and connections that are in alignment will appear, often through lucky breaks or chance encounters. This can be disorienting. A job you've held for years may suddenly feel intolerable. A long-term relationship may dissolve peacefully. A dream opportunity may land in your lap from nowhere. The Council's decision is not causing these events. It is amplifying the magnetic pull between your frequency and matching frequencies in the world. You are being sorted into your rightful place in the cosmic pattern. The challenge is to surrender control and trust the sorting process, even when it leads through apparent loss. The surprise is that every loss creates space for a gain that is a perfect vibrational match. The final stage is not about receiving more information, but about embodying the truth that has been transmitted. The Council's decision moves from being an external event to becoming your internal reality. This is the shift from knowing you are a starseed to being the starseed. The distinction is everything. Knowing is a mental concept, a story you tell yourself. Being is a state of presence, a quality of energy you emit. How does this look in daily life? First, it means releasing the need for external validation of your identity. You no longer need to prove your starseed nature through psychic abilities, past life memories, or sensitivity to energies. Your validation comes from an unshakable inner felt sense of connection to something vast and loving. You walk through the world with this as your secret, your source of peace. You engage in ordinary life, shopping, working, socializing, while anchored in this extraordinary awareness. You become anonymous light. Second, your priorities naturally reorder. What once seemed important, social status, accumulating possessions, achieving certain spiritual milestones, loses its charge. What becomes paramount is integrity of resonance. You ask yourself not, is this good or bad, but does this choice increase or decrease my inner peace? Does it expand or contract my heart? You make decisions based on vibrational alignment, not logic or fear. This may lead to choices that seem irrational to others, but feel deeply right to you. Third, your relationship with time transforms. You release the frantic urgency of the Great Awakening timeline. You understand that everything is unfolding in perfect divine timing, and your only task is to be fully present in each moment. You become a stabilizing presence amidst the chaos, not by doing anything, but by holding a frequency of calm acceptance. You trust that the Council's protocol is operating on a schedule far wiser than your human planning. Fourth, service becomes effortless and joy-based. You are drawn to activities that light you up, and you offer your gifts from this place of overflow, not sacrifice. You understand that the highest service is to be so authentically, joyfully yourself that you give others permission to do the same. You stop trying to heal, teach, or fix anyone. You simply share your light when inspired and trust that each soul will take what it needs. Finally, you develop a gentle, compassionate relationship with the parts of you that are still human, still fearful, still forgetful. You no longer wage war on your lower self. You embrace all aspects of your being as necessary components of the human experience, and you hold them in the light of your starseed awareness. Integration is not about perfection. It's about wholeness. The Council's decision is the universe's official confirmation. Your remembering is complete enough. The experiment is a success. You are now invited to stop trying to remember and start living from the place of what you have remembered. The surprise is that this place was within you all along, waiting for you to stop searching elsewhere and come home to yourself. If this message impacted your life, leave your like, comment your reflection, and share with others. Each of you is part of this chain of light.